endings that we've done up until this point in time, except that now, all right, in the middle of the verb, remember that the E becomes IE, the O becomes UE, except for the verb hugar, where the U becomes UE, and then sometimes the E becomes an I, but only with the verb decir, pedir, and servir. All of the other ones are E to IE. We call them shoe verbs / boot verbs because only in those persons does the actual stem change take place. So I also threw in some of the go verbs. This morning as I was getting ready, I looked, and if you took 101, then we covered some of the go verbs. So I'm assuming that you remember things like tango and pongo and stuff like that. Ash is nodding, so take a few mementos then and fill in the blanks with the correct form of the verb. You can look on page 122 if you need help or if you need the correct stem change. I think I tried to keep it with only verbs from those charts, but sometimes I forget. See?
¿Cómo se dice helpful?
Ayudante?
So is ante like the ending full? Because I know ando and endo is ing.
In what context though? What are you trying to say? Helpful.
Saying that you put all of the verbs, try to get all the verbs from this paper. I was going to say that's very helpful. Then I thought about what is the full, like the full. I know I'm going to say help.
You would actually say eso ayuda mucho.
Ayudo? It's
Ayuda.
helpful to me very much?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh wow, I translated that quickly. Shocked my brain.
Just being around Spanish is affecting you.
I was talking to my friend this morning, she walked up to me and said, "Hola," she goes, "You get into Spanish mode?" I said, "Yep, I got class later."
Wait for this to warm up, but I know I'm a little late, but Here's a helpful slide, I hope. So we'll start con número uno, all right? Cortland, can you read the sentence, por favor? Don't say 16. 16. Muy bien, so yo tengo. This is one of our go verbs. So yo tengo 16 años. Number two, número dos. Do you have that, Sarah, in the back?
Yo vengo a la universidad and I don't want to pronounce that last one.
Coche. Say it, coche.
Coche?
Muy bien, perfecto. Yo vengo a universidad en coche. I come to the university in a car. Número tres, number three. Sierra. Sorry, I totally I'm like, I know it's Spanish. Yes, you do. Don't say that. Ir. Perfect. ¿Tú prefieres ir al concierto? Muy bien. Número cuatro. Sarah Purich. Muy bien. ¿Quieres estudiar por la tarde? Do you want to study this afternoon? Número cinco. Lil. Lee. Oh, sorry. You don't like Lil?
It's fine.
Like the Rugrats?
I just didn't, I just wasn't.
Okay, Lily, por favor.
Él no puede salir temprano.
Él no puede salir temprano. He is not able to leave early. Okay? Número seis, we are at Ashira.
Ella tiene prisa todos los días.
Ella tiene prisa. Tener prisa means to be in a hurry. So she's in a hurry every day. Okay?
And temprano is early.
Sí. Número siete, number seven.
Siento. Prisa is not a standalone word, it has to be tener prisa.
Yeah, it's an expression. And expressions don't always translate literally. Are we good?
Sí.
Okay, so número siete, Doug, por favor.
Nosotros no venimos hasta después de la clase.
Muy bien. We're not coming until after class, okay? In this case, because it is nosotros, good job, it doesn't express a stem change. Número ocho, Alina.
Nosotros preferimos mirar una película.
Muy bien. We prefer to watch a movie. In this case, good job. Because it is nosotros, no stem change. Número nueve, Ty.
I think I maybe do the vosotros one when I'm the only one in the room who's never done it before.
That's why.
Vosotros queréis,
Mm-hmm.
okay, más exámenes.
Muy bien. All y'all want more tests.
Is it ace?
Yeah, it is ace. Maybe not the like sticking out your jaw, but just ace. Okay. Like ace. Like
I don't like it.
the card.
I've
the
never been
ace
used
of
to, I've always been
spades.
taught to hate it. So it's,
You will now love it
Mm.
because I love it. All right, so vosotros queréis. Número 10, back over to you, Cortland. Vosotros podéis. Okay, all y'all can do the homework. All right. Número 11, Señorita Michelson.
I didn't get that from your.
Okay. Well, the verb is tener. So ellos, the e becomes an ie. Okay. And then the ending is en. So ellos tienen. All right. Sudaderas negras, which is apropos because you in fact are wearing a black sweatshirt, and that's what the sentence says.
How do you spell that though?
Which one?
For number 11?
Oh, Tienen.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, that's why I put the slide on the board. Sudadera means sweatshirt. And then negra, black. So just like Ty and Cortland and Señorita Michelson. All right, they're black sweatshirts. Sudaderas negras. Okay. Number 12, Sierra. Comercial. Muy bien. Ellas vienen al centro comercial todos los días. They come to the mall every day. Okay. 13, Señorita Purich. Yo prefiero usar los tenis todos los días. I prefer sneakers every day. Okay. 14, Lily.
Yo quiero comprar una camisa nueva.
Yo quiero, I want to buy a new shirt. Sure.
Usar is shoes.
No, usar is to use or to wear.
So,
And then tenis are like what Ty is wearing.
it's okay. Tennis shoes.
Yeah, tennis shoes. We just call them tenis.
Just plain old tennis.
Yeah. Some people might say zapatos de tenis,
I was
but
gonna say
most
that.
people just say tenis. Mine
I
aren't
feel
really
like
tenis.
there's a lot of words in Spanish that sound just so aggressive for no reason.
I think it's just you.
Really? Sacapuntas. That sounds angry, doesn't it? That means pencil sharpener.
Sacapuntas.
But if you
Not
say it,
aggressive.
but if you say it in an angry voice, it just sounds so aggressive.
You could say that
It's
for any language.
No,
could probably
not
say
for
pencil sharpener.
Did you know?
Sounds
Technically, an insult in Japanese is just looking at someone and saying "you." That's an insult. That's the most lousy insult I've ever heard of.
Yeah, but it's like a very specific.
To them, it's like degrading.
Ashira, number 15, por favor.
Spanish is an aggressive language.
Okay.
No.
15.
Puedes llevar tus pantalones grises mañana.
Muy bien. Can you wear your gray pants tomorrow? All right. So muy bien. Then let's move on. That was just to kind of review what we did El Martes. Look at page 129, page 129. Remember that we started off with el vocabulario acerca de los quehaceres domésticos. ¿Qué es quehaceres domésticos en inglés? Household chores, or the crap you gotta do at home. Okay, los chores. Ashira, ¿cuál quehacer te gusta mucho, mucho, mucho? ¿Cuál quehacer, which chore, te gusta mucho? Do you really like to do? Alina gave me a nasty look, so she's next. No.
Me gusta sacar la basura.
Okay, like to take out the garbage. Just for you, Alina, then. ¿Cuál quehacer no te gusta?
Todos.
Todos. All right, which one no te gusta the most?
Pasar la aspiradora.
Pasar la, you don't like to vacuum. Pasar la aspiradora.
Hay mucho pelo de.
Ah, okay. That would make it less than fun. Okay? Muy bien. So, let's do a couple of these exercises, por favor. Okay? And if you want to work together, you can. If you look at page 129, 129, cuatro, Ashira.
Lo siento.
No, está bien.
I have just, if you were to say, it's unrelated, caminar is to walk. If I was going to say I'm going on a walk, would I say caminar? Is that like can it be a noun as well?
Yeah, but a walk is a caminata.
Caminata?
Mhm. Or un paseo.
How do you spell that?
Paseo. And it's masculine, so un paseo, a walk. Or una caminata. It depends, once again, depends on which country you're in. Some people will call it a caminata, some people call it a paseo.
Gracias.
Muy bien. So, 4-14, you know I love your questions this year. Don't ever be embarrassed. You don't apologize. 4-14, okay? Fill in the blank with the correct, I guess, verb that has to do with the chore. In this case, if you notice, all of the chores involve a verb, and you would conjugate them normally. I'm looking at all of these, and so far, none of them are stem changers, even though we did, just review it. But things like hacer and poner, that does have an unusual yo form. So poner is pongo, hacer is hago, and I just realized I just lied to you. Regar, that is a stem changer. The e becomes ie. Okay, so if you say that you water plants, yo riego las plantas, or ella riega las plantas. All right. So for example, number 1, Manuel y David. Manny and Dave, nosotros blank la mesa antes de comer. We blank the table before we eat. Well, there's only one chore there's 2 chores that involves the table. But in this case, antes de comer means before eating. So which one actually happens before eating? Setting the table. And so because it's nosotros, nosotros ponemos la mesa. Okay? Bueno, señoritas, y Doug. See? So do 2 through 8, por favor. Fill in the blank with the correct verb. It all has to do with a chore. And if you need help figuring out the person, like is it él, is it ella, is it nosotros? Just shout it out.
Awesome.
Espanol. Numero dos, then. Alina, could you read the sentence?
Carlos quita la mesa después de comer.
Muy bien. Carlos quita la mesa después de comer. Good job. Número tres, Doug.
Donna, Rosa y Marcos lavan los platos en la cocina.
Muy bien. So Ms. Rosa and Marcos wash the dishes. Lavan los platos. Número cuatro, Ashira.
Dona Rosa dice, Pepe, tú sacas la basura.
Muy bien. So Pepe, go take out the garbage. All right. Número cinco, Señorita Purich.
I didn't get this one.
Okay.
Yeah. I was
Ashira.
also confused.
I was confused, but I took a guess.
Because, I mean, it's
I put 1 p.m. Like
And you would be
house.
right.
Okay.
Because you're not telling them to do it, you're talking about them doing it. So Manny y David limpian la casa los fines de semana. Manuel and David clean the house every weekend.
I mean, it could have been like,
It's every weekend?
Yeah.
How would you say this weekend?
Este. fin de
Este.
semana. Okay. Number six, número seis. Do you have that, Lily?
Ramón dice, yo corto el césped y riego las plantas en junio, julio y agosto.
Muy bien. So I cut the grass and water the plants June, July, and August. Yo corto y riego. Okay. Sierra, do you have number seven? No? Well, because it's plural, los estudiantes, hacer, you drop the ER and then just add EN. Los estudiantes hacen la cama todas las mañanas. The students make their bed every morning. Okay? And then the last one, número ocho. Okay, time.
Make up for my absence.
Okay.
La hija de Doña Rosa lava la ropa y barre.
Muy bien. I was just waiting for the last two words. So, Doña Rosa lava la ropa y barre el piso. You could have also said plancha la ropa. That's something else you can do with the clothes. Did we learn any other
Doblar.
words? Doblar la ropa. You could say dobla la ropa. Okay. So any one of those.
Too full. Right there, I had it written down already.
So any one of those would have made sense. Okay. Now, when you talk about things that you are doing, okay, you can use two phrases, all right? The expression tener que, and I conjugated them, all right? But tener que means to have to, all right? So in the yo form, tengo que is I have to, all right? Now, because you've already conjugated tener, any one of those chores, then you would just add it, okay? Just boom, okay? What do you think necesito? I need to, okay? Necesitar, to need, so I need to, all right? Any one of these could convey a sense of something that has to be done, all right? And so this is important for the next exercise, 4-15. Hay mucho que hacer, there's a lot to do, okay? And so you're going to look at the situation, okay? And if you look at the modelo, I am changing the rules up in that the original assignment is to make Manuel do it, but this time you're going to do it, okay? So that's why I put the yo form. So for example, la cama está sin hacer. The bed is not made, okay? So Manuel tiene que hacer la cama. Manny has to make the bed. In this case, if your bed is unmade, oh, tengo que hacer la cama. I have to make my bed. Or necesito hacer la cama. I need to make my bed. Okay, either one of these expressions works, okay? So sometimes I tell students, all right, pick the one word, all right, easier, or if you want a little bit more, challenge, okay, tener que, either one. So for example, if you look at número uno, los platos están sucios. It gives you the definition of sucios as dirty. The dishes are dirty. You walk into your cocina, los platos están sucios. Tengo que lavar los platos. Damn it, I have to wash the dishes.
I just
Okay.
leave it for my
Or
mom.
necesito. Alina, you're terrible. Alina necesita lavar los platos.
Como se dice away, like away from, distance wise, like
Lejos de.
lejos de? It's fancy.
Cerca is close.
I would respond to that with I walk away.
Oh, yeah, so camino lejos de los platos.
How do you spell that?
Which one?
Lejos.
The one.
Lejos, new word, de. And that's far from.
And also, como se dice spell?
Como se spell? No.
Like, I wanna ask you how to spell things in Spanish. but I don't know.
You can say como se escribe. How do you write it? Which is easy.
Is there no word for spell?
Yes, there is. That's coming up. Como se deletrea. How do you spell it? Although you will find that unless the person's been educated quite a bit, they may not understand the word deletrea. So that's why como se escribe.
Yeah, I'm gonna forget Deletrea and.
So, what I would like you to do then is look at the situations 2 through 6 and tell me what needs to get done or what you need to get done. Okay? So, hay mucha basura, la ropa está arrugada, la casa está sucia, el piso está sucio, las plantas necesitan agua.
Are we supposed to be writing these down or just like thinking of them in our head?
You can think of it in your head. If it helps you to write, you can write it. Whichever study technique works best for you. All right, so, número dos, hay mucha basura en la casa. First off, what is that saying in English?
There is a lot of garbage in the house.
There's a lot of garbage in the house. So, Alina, what's gonna happen?
Tengo que sacar la basura.
Muy bien, tengo que sacar la basura. Excelente. Número 3, la ropa está arrugada. Okay, what is that telling us? What's going on at home? The clothes is all wrinkly. Ashira, so what are you gonna do about it?
Necesito planchar la ropa.
Necesito planchar la ropa. Gotta iron the clothes.
Y doblar.
Oh, y doblar. Oh, you're just making it hard. Y doblar la ropa. Número 4. La casa está sucia.
The house is dirty.
The house is dirty. Okay? So, Ty, what are you doing?
Tengo que limpiar mi casa, porque yo no sucio.
Okay, muy bien. Tengo que limpiar la casa, then I gotta clean the house.
Oh, I put that with a masculine ending too.
Está bien. Número 5, el piso está sucio. What is el piso está sucio?
Floor.
Muy bien, the
El
floor
piso de-
is dirty.
de clase es sucio.
Sí, muy sucio. So, señorita Purich, what are you gonna do about our dirty floor?
Necesito
Necesito
el piso.
barrer el piso. Muy bien. I need to sweep the floor. You can also say necesito limpiar el piso. If you're gonna like mop it and stuff like that.
Oh, es alfombra, pasar la aspiradora.
Okay. Yes, they're not specific whether it's carpeted or not. So, si hay alfombra, necesito pasar la aspiradora. Okay. And the last one, número 6, las plantas necesitan agua. What is that telling us?
Plants need water.
Plants need water. So, Lily,
Tengo,
What-
tengo que regar las plantas.
tengo que regar las plantas. I have to water the plants. Okay? So, let's go to 417, por favor. 417. And while normally I have you, well, we'll just all talk because we're a small class. Okay? So, número 1. ¿Qué quehaceres domésticos haces todos los días? First off, what is that asking?
What chores do you do every day?
What chores do you do every day? Okay. Now, to answer, you don't necessarily have to conjugate. You can just say, hacer la cama. All right. You can just leave it in the infinitive. Está bien. So, mi amiga Cortland, ¿qué quehaceres haces todos los días? Lavar los platos. So, do the dishes. Okay. ¿Y tú, Doug, qué quehaceres domésticos haces todos los días? Make one up if you literally don't do anything.
Cortar césped.
Cortar every day. Damn. All right. Short grass. No. Cortar el césped. Está
Once a
bien.
week.
Hmm?
Once a week.
Oh, una vez a la semana. Okay. Y tú, Sierra, ¿qué quehaceres domésticos haces todos los días? What's one chore you do every day? Okay, hacer la cama, make the bed. All right. I think that's the one thing I do maybe once a month. I'm just gonna get back in it
I do
that
that
night.
like twice a year.
I don't see the reason to, because if you're just gonna get back in it at night,
I only
no
make
one's
my
going
bed
in my room.
when I
And if I
change
have
my
guests,
sheets.
if I have guests over, what are they gonna do? Go up to my room to make sure my bed is made? No.
What do you mean? As soon as I enter anyone's house, I march into every
I know,
bedroom
and make sure all of the rooms are spotless, vacuumed. I make sure their dishes are done
I
and that
open
their
the
trash is taken out.
closets too, make sure they're
Okay.
organized.
Yeah, I know. Mm-hmm.
Número 2. ¿Te gusta cocinar? What is that asking?
Do you hit TikTok?
Yeah, this is just a yes or no. Alina, ¿te gusta cocinar? Okay. Instead of sí or no, she went with eh. Hi.
How did he say bake?
Hornear.
Yo, me gusta hornear.
Hornear. Okay.
Hornear.
¿Cómo se escribe?
It's an AR verb. So you would conjugate it like a regular AR verb.
See, I would have spelled that O-R-N-E-R, so it's important to add.
Yes.
Está bien.
It is.
So like horneo en los inviernos, I bake in the winter, or horneo el pastel. Okay.
Las
Okay.
galletas.
Las galletas, muy bien. Okay. ¿Te gusta lavar los platos, señorita Purich? First off, what did I ask her?
Did you like
Did you
washing
like-
dishes?
Do you like doing dishes? See, she's like, I think. My mom says I do. No. Ashira?
Un de mis trabajos los platos
I would hate
a
that job.
un restaurante.
Oh,
No.
Es
so,
muy, muy sucio.
so te gusta lavar los platos?
Sí.
Well, I guess it's a good thing that's your job.
I
Es
mean,
bueno, es
it's-
tu trabajo.
I couldn't.
It's not normally, I only do it like once a month, which is why I still enjoy it.
Ah.
It's just every
I
once in a
work in
while.
fast food and they ask me to do the dishes, I tell them it's either I walk out or that I do the dishes.
Okay.
Because I won't.
But it's fast food.
I
You
can't
get some
stand,
dishes.
well, from like containers of cheese
Oh,
sauce.
okay.
That builds up, man, that's, ugh.
Lo siento.
Trabajo en la cocina, pero necesito lavar los platos. Estoy triste.
Oh. Número 4. ¿Quién plancha la ropa en tu familia? What is that asking?
Wait.
Who irons the clothes in family?
Yeah, who irons in your family? Okay.
No one.
Alina?
No one.
Nadia?
Nadie.
Nadia. Ashira?
Nadie.
Nadie.
Familia wrinkly.
Okay. ¿Y tú, Doug, en tu familia? ¿Quién plancha la ropa?
No.
Nadie?
No.
Wow, nadie. Sierra, en tu familia, ¿quién plancha la ropa? Nadie also, wow.
There's things called steamers or Dawn or Febreze wrinkle-free spray.
Yo no tengo la plancha.
Yo tengo un steamer.
Muy caro.
Y también tengo el wrinkle free spray, so
Yeah.
you just.
Well, how do you say wrinkle-free spray in Spanish?
Yeah, I don't know because it's brand new.
Down.
Okay. Número 6. ¿Tienes que cortar el césped? What am I asking there?
Do you mow the lawn? Or who mows the
Do you,
lawn?
no, do you mow the lawn or do you have to mow the lawn? Ty?
No. Pero, mi apartamento, as workers,
Okay.
who do it for 'em?
Está bien. Cortland, ¿tienes que cortar el césped? No. Okay. Señorita Michelson, ¿y tú tienes que cortar el césped?
I don't know.
Mow the lawn.
I don't do that.
So no. It's either sí or no. Okay, muy bien. I'll ask Doug because he says he does it every day or every week. Doug, ¿tienes que cortar el césped?
Sí.
Sí. Okay, muy bien. Yo también. All right. Do you have un riding mower or
Push.
All right, muy bien. Yo también.
My grandpa
Push
wants to
mower.
get one of them big ones that you can whip around on.
Yeah, the zero radius.
0 to,
Oh
yeah.
my God.
Every time we go to Lowe's or something, he spends 20 minutes standing
Es
there staring at
Es
it.
el sueño. It's the dream. You
It's
can
like
just-
he's contemplating life when he thinks about it. You should see his face. It looks like he's constipated.
It's true. It's the thing. Although my lawn isn't big enough for one of those, I do it in like one pass and I'm like, okay. Yeah,
He's got a giant field in his backyard and he just likes to keep up with it, even though he doesn't own it.
Yo sé. Número 8. ¿Quién saca la basura en tu casa o apartamento? What is that asking?
Who takes out the trash in your house?
Yeah, who takes out the trash? Señorita Puri, ¿quién saca la basura en tu casa? Mi padre, dad, make dad do it. Alina, ¿y quién saca la basura en tu casa? Is it also your padre?
Most of the time. Un
So,
poco de todos.
okay, todos un poco, pero
Yeah.
papá, padre. Okay. Cortland, ¿quién saca la basura en tu casa? Tu amigo, okay, está bien. Okay. Y Ashira, ¿quién saca la basura en tu casa?
Me o mis padres.
Okay, muy bien. In this case, it would be yo.
Yo.
Yeah. Yo o mis padres.
¿Cómo se dice anyone? Or if I was gonna be like, whoever can, like,
Quien sea.
can say,
2 words. And then sea is to be, or a form of ser. So whoever it would be. It makes no sense in Spanish, but it does.
Okay.
And then the last one, numero 10. And this one should be easy to answer. De todos los quehaceres domésticos, out of all the chores, ¿cuál es el que no prefieres hacer? Which one would you rather not do, like, ever? Okay? Ashira's already got her hand up. Ashira, ¿cuál no prefieres hacer?
Doblar la ropa.
Doblar la ropa,
No me
fold the
gusta.
clothes.
Odio.
Ty?
Lavar los platos.
Lavar los platos. Really?
Sacar la basura.
No sacar la basura. All right. Señorita Michelson, ¿cuál prefieres no hacer?
Sacar la basura.
Also, sacar la basura. Y tú, Sierra, ¿cuál no prefieres hacer? Lavar los platos. Cortland? Cortar, you don't want to mow the lawn. Cortar el césped. Here, we gotta give Doug a chance. Doug, ¿cuál quehacer no prefieres hacer?
Yo no lavar los platos.
Lavar los platos, sí. No, yo no me gusta lavar los platos. Para nada. I hate doing dishes. Okay? Yo compro paper y plastic cups to avoid doing dishes. Si es necesario.
Or you get those like those cheap plastic plates that you can just
And then
rinse
just
off.
throw, right, just throw that away too. So, all right.
For real.
Any preguntas on los quehaceres domésticos?
No.
All right. Then turn the page, por favor, to page 130. Now, remember in Espanol, when we speak to people, we have the tú form and we have the usted form. What is the difference between the two again?
Two is informal.
Okay, so tú is informal, usted is formal. Okay? We use tú when we are talking to friends or family, children, people younger than us, people that are kind of below us, peers, all right, animals, things like that. All right? We use usted when we are talking to people that we don't know, complete strangers, people we just met, people who we're doing business with, or people who are older than us, or people who are in a higher position than us. Okay? Now, every now and then, we need to ask people to do stuff for us. All right? And so, if that person is a family member or a child or whatever, then you would obviously ask them to do it in the tú form. And same thing if you want me to do something, or if you're talking to a stranger or whatever. Okay? And so today, we are looking at affirmative tú commands. Okay? So we are dealing strictly with how do you ask someone that you would treat in the tú form to do something. Okay? And just because it says command doesn't literally mean that you're like commanding someone, but it's like, okay, I think I turned it off. There we go. But it's the best way to describe it. Numero uno. Numero dos. Obviously, you always really like if you want it done. What does por favor mean?
Please.
Yes, always throw in the por favor.
And the puppy eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Maybe a little quicker lip.
Ojos de perro.
Okay, ladies. So see, okay? Itag. Yes, you throw all that into. But now, the reason why we say affirmative commands is because this is when you want someone to do something, okay? You're not telling them not to. That's a completely different structure, all right? En español. I know, lo siento, Ashira. Okay? And so, it's pretty straightforward, but at the same time, it can be a little confusing because if it's an AR verb, okay, you drop the AR and just add an A at the end. So if Ty's been really, really quiet all class, salud.
Scared the crap out of me.
That was a loud sneeze. And so I say, Ty, habla, you can talk, habla, all right? And I would say habla because she is not only my student, so she's down here, but she's also younger than me, okay? So habla, all right? The verb cantar, to sing, all right? We're at karaoke, and Ashira, for some reason, is being really, really shy, even though that's usually not her thing. But she's being really shy, and so, once again, she's my friend, she's my student, or she's younger than me, and I say, Ashira, come on, canta, sing, canta.
In 7th grade, when I started learning Spanish, my first Spanish teacher taught me the best way to remember cantar. She drilled it into our heads when she was teaching us these verbs. That was I'm pretty sure it was the first verb that I learned.
Mm-hmm.
And she taught it to us. Her name was Mrs. Townsend. She's crazy. She's from Clinton. And she told us to remember cantar. Cantar is to sing. She would walk into class every day and she would say, cantar. Where is she from? Clinton.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
You should. You should.
Finally, okay, if it's a stem changing verb, you do have to do the stem change, all right? So for example, jugar, to play. If you recall, because the U becomes UE, you do have to change the U to UE, all right? And then you just add the A.
Pregunta.
See,
When do I use this? Like,
when you're telling someone or asking someone to do something.
okay.
So Ty, habla con Alina. Talk to her right now.
Hi.
Por favor.
Hi.
Canta. I want you to sing. Canta en la clase.
But
Alright.
no, like, so it's just like a command if you're asking someone to do something?
Yeah.
I guess I really, really haven't.
But you're not really asking, you're more so like telling them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've just never looked at it that way because it's like I've never had to ask someone to do something in Spanish before.
Well, now you're going to.
I know.
All right. And of course, that's why I say so it doesn't sound as harsh like a command. Por favor. Okay. So por favor, habla con Alina. All right. She seems really sad. No one likes her in the class. So, habla con Alina. All right.
All right.
Now, for AR and ER verbs, you drop the AR, you drop the ER, and you just add an E for both of them, whether it's an AR or an ER verb. Okay? So, maybe one day I'll bring in yummy snacks, and Sarah says, oh, I hate donuts. So I'm like, come on, Sarah, come. Eat something, come. All right? Ashira is just sitting there doing nothing, so I'm like, escribe, you need to write this down, all right? Escribe, okay? And once again, and in this case, it could also be like, Santos, I've never eaten in the cafeteria before, and so I said, you know what? Pide las papas fritas, order the French fries, okay? Or whatever. And because remember, pedir is one of our stem changers, you change the E to an I, and then you just add the E.
es la comida en la cafeteria buena?
Así.
So, if you were to say, come eat with me in Spanglish, you could say, come come conmigo. That's a fun sentence, I like it.
So find, a Latino or Latina, whatever your choice is, and, come conmigo. And there you go. All right. Now, that's pretty much it for all verbs. Like I said, the only thing you kind of have to remember is that if you are dealing with a stem changer, you still have to make the stem change. But there are some irregulars. There are always irregulars. Okay? So, for example, decir, okay? Yeah, that happens to be a stem changer. And I guess you could say, wait, the E becomes an I, and so no. Okay, in this case, it's just D. Okay, so say. Now, maybe you've heard the expression like dime, tell me, or say it to me.
So,
Okay,
so D is just a word?
yeah, that means say or tell.
How are you supposed to know the difference between say, and to know say?
Context.
Is it just context? Yeah.
Context.
Two words mean.
Because they are written the same way.
I don't think I can handle two words that mean the same thing that's not in English, because I barely understand two words that mean the same thing in English.
Dime tus problemas. Tell me your problems.
Personal problems, man, got a lot of them.
All right.
It's like you say homonyms in Espanol.
What is the word?
Homonym?
It doesn't even sound like English.
Words that sound alike.
Homonym? What is a homonym?
Two.
It's two words that sound alike.
But are spelled different.
So like two and two.
I guess I'm
Your and your.
It would be homophone.
There.
What are the ones that are spelled the same? That's the word I'm looking for. The one that
Like read and read and.
Oh, I hate that.
It's homophone or something like that.
Hacer. Do. Make. Haz la tarea. Do your homework. Okay. Haz las galletas. Make the cookies that you asked about.
I ate 2 sleeves of cookies last night.
Here. Go. They. Just go. They.
Can I take a picture
When
of
I
this?
kick you out.
The board?
They. See. It's not proprietary. I haven't trademarked it.
Well, I know. but
So they.
I just want to
okay.
write them down later.
Poner, all right. If you're handing in an assignment, I can say, Ty, pon la tarea en la mesa. Put your homework on the table. Okay. Salir, all right. At some point, Ashira is just going to annoy me so much that I'm like, sal de aquí. All right. Leave. Get out of here. Okay. Sal de aquí. All right. Ser, okay. As a parent, before Ty goes out, I would say, se buena, be good.
I
Be good.
did not go
Okay.
out.
Or, before, Sarah here goes clubbing, se buena, be good, be safe, okay? Don't talk to strange men.
So, like you were talking about the phrase "get out of here," would you use salir for that? Like leave out of here?
Yeah,
Is
sal
what
de
you're
aquí.
saying? Is there no word for "get" in Spanish?
There is, but not in this context.
What about the word "to"? I asked my Spanish teacher that. I asked her what something meant in Spanish, and it was like a simple English word that was like 2 or 3 letters long, and it was like some crazy Spanish word. I can't remember what it was.
If I'm giving you something, it's not the number, okay? So, Alina forgot something to write with, so I say, ten, here, take it.
10.
Yeah, because tener is to have. Literally, I'm saying, have this. Watch out, Ty.
I'm trying not to.
I saw she started doing this weird look. I'm just using you as an example. It's not even a bad one. So, 10, okay? If I had some tissue, I could say, then, here, take it. Before you sneeze on Ty's head.
Why have this applies tissues?
And then venir, to come. So I may need to, let's say, talk to Cortland in private. So I say, Cortland, ven, por favor, un momento. Come over here, just for a minute, okay? Or, Lily has a lot of questions, and I'm like, just ven a mi oficina, just come to my office. All right, we have more time there.
Después de la clase, yo necesito decir a usted.
Mm-hmm. You just say what?
No, I'm trying to say I have to tell you something after class.
Oh, it would be necesito decir algo.
Okay, I'm trying.
Because you said decir too, you need to say ni, like, okay. All right, but I'm with you. Algo is something.
I'll write that down.
Okay. All right, so if you look at that page, ¿qué hora es? All right, a couple more minutes. If you look at page 130, okay, it has this exact chart, all right? ¿Qué pasa?
¿Cómo se dice broken?
Roto.
Romper.
Well, romper is to break.
Yo rompo mi página.
Lo siento. All right, so if you look at the expression, the chart, okay, hablar, habla, comer, come, all right, and so on and so forth. Your textbook also explains, and sometimes I don't like saying this because I've had some students get really confused. If you look closely, the command form is actually the present tense él, ella, usted. So like él habla, ella come, usted escribe.
It is.
And I've had students be like, wait, so how am I telling someone to do something if I just said he eats? Yeah, so that's why sometimes I'm hesitant to mention it. But your textbook does actually write it out, all right? So at some point you would have read it, maybe.
So if I want to be like, use tiling as examples because that's what you keep doing. I could be like, she's speaking, now you speak. I could be like, habla, habla.
You say ella habla, ahora habla. Yes.
Well, sometimes you drop them like the pronoun, right? Could I just be like, habla, habla?
Yeah, well, in this case though, because I am distinguishing between a command and a regular present tense verb, I would probably use ella habla, ahora, tú habla. I probably would use the pronouns to
I was
clarify.
trying to intentionally.
But
So
yes,
can
you
you
can.
Can you not look at someone and say hablas? That wouldn't work the same way. You talk.
You would say habla. No,
Why couldn't
'Cause-
you say hablas?
because that means.
Well, not to you specifically. You're a teacher, so I know that's not correct in like hierarchy terms.
Well, like, why
whatever,
could
but
like
if I was
one
to
of us
say
tell
something
each
like,
other hablas?
It would just be like, that's,
You
speak.
talk.
You speak. Like, yes.
Because it makes
see?
no sense in Spanish.
But why not?
It just doesn't.
Take it
Who
out
made
the
Spanish, man?
The Spanish?
What is this?
Take it up with the Spanish gods. Okay. All right.
At least you get what I'm saying. Yeah.
Go to 4-20 on page 131, 131. We will finish with this para hoy. And we'll do más ejercicios el martes. Okay? So, you are telling someone to do these things. Número uno, what is poner la mesa? Set the table. So,
To put the table.
yeah, so in this case, if Ashira and I are getting a dinner ready, how would I tell her, set the table? Pon la mesa. Pon la mesa.
Rápidamente.
Por favor. Ashira, pon la mesa. Okay, pon la mesa. Okay? We're having guests over, specifically Ty, and she's gonna check every room. So, make your bed, okay, Lily?
You won't even have
Sarah,
time.
come.
You won't even
haz la
have,
cama.
you won't even have time when I step in the door. I'm just gonna dart straight.
So you take hacer, haz la cama.
if it's
Haz
not
la
me, I'm
cama.
leaving.
Make the bed. Oh yeah, it's really, really gross, and we are having people over. So how would you tell someone clean the bathroom?
Limpiar el baño.
Limpia el baño.
Limpia
Yeah, you just drop the AR and add an A. Limpia el
for
baño.
any verb, except for those irregular
For
ones.
any AR verb.
For any, oh, okay, and for ER, I already dropped the E. But are those the only irregulars, or are there more?
No,
Those
those
are
are
the
the
only
only
ones? Okay, fantastic. That makes it 10 times easier that there's only 8.
Barrer el piso. Okay, it's pretty dirty.
Barre.
So how would we tell the custodian to come in and sweep the floor?
Barre el piso.
Barre el piso. Sí, barre el piso. Sweep the floor. Okay. We all hate doing it. Like 4 of us admitted it. So how would someone tell Senor Santos? Well, pretend I'm your age.
Lava
To
los
wash.
platos, por
Lava
favor.
los platos.
Por favor.
Por favor. Oh, okay, that'll get me to do it. Lava los platos.
Is
Yes.
that, oh, juega, it's like a little game.
No, it's a
Like,
chore.
it's
And finally, we're done eating. Clear the table, por favor.
Quita la mesa, por favor.
Quita la mesa, por favor. Quita la mesa. Okay?
Yes.
We will continue with this el martes.
You explained that very easily, actually.
All right, señoritas y Doug?
You wanna hear my story now?
Sí, claro. Let me turn this off.